AEW has a major announcement planned, plus so much more to talk about in today's video. Welcome to the Ango Show. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we got a giveaway at 100,000 subscribers. If you are interested in winning multiple prizes, such as the World Heavyweight Championship replica, you should probably click subscribe for a chance to win. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just kick things off. Let's talk about Smackdown. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and Braun Breaker all expected to be on WWE Smackdown this Friday, at least according to PW Insider. It looks like they are scheduled for the taping in Alabama, and this is fantastic news, but I do have some questions about this. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily a criticism, but this is a rather large question when discussing WWE presenting NXT talent on the main roster. Now, you may have heard me say on this channel that many years ago, there was a huge issue that I had with talent getting called up from NXT. A long time ago, they'd get called up, and then there was no continuity within their character. We saw how bad Adam Rose was booked on the main roster, and that's just one of many examples. Now, lately, that hasn't seemed to become a concern, right? However, what I do have a concern is whether or not showcasing NXT talent before they get called up, does it actually help NXT? Now, if you're one of those people that love talking about ratings, yes, there has been an upstick in NXT ratings, and sure, that is, I guess, a point for you guys who like ratings. Me personally, I don't care about ratings. I don't think ratings are worth discussing, so let's just leave that out. Let's talk about attendance. Let's talk about overall success of the brand. I feel like NXT is a very consistent TV product. It is really unique to see that NXT is taking their PLEs on the road, which is something I'm very much in favor in. However, is WWE NXT ready to go on the road for all of the TV tapings? And that's a major question that I have, and I assume that's exactly what WWE wants to eventually do. But is the brand strong enough on its own to be able to make that happen? And that's the big question mark here. I think WWE Raw and SmackDown showcasing NXT talent does help the NXT product. I think it also helps the main roster get acclimated to who is showing up on TV. I mean, look at Trick Williams getting the reaction that he did last week. I would have never expected that. Not because Trick Williams isn't good enough to get that reaction. Of course he is. But the reality is Trick Williams getting that reaction when the main roster audience typically isn't the same as NXT's. That's where the concern came in. So I'm wondering if WWE NXT will actually benefit from this to the standpoint that they could become a traveling brand for all of their weekly episodes. That is something I would like to eventually see, because I do think the Performance Center does hurt the product just slightly. However, at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see. Very excited about Trick. Very happy about Carmelo. Very happy about Braun Breaker. A lot of good things coming from that. Guys, last night, Wardlow was injured, and unfortunately, this isn't good news. There isn't any confirmation as to what it is. Wardlow says that his knee is just fine, but that did not look good. Look, man, this is a very interesting time period for wrestling. There's a lot of injuries happening and just a lot of things going not according to plan, right? And this is one of the things I hate about wrestling, obviously, when people get hurt, stuff like that. But Wardlow versus Commander on Dynamite. Wardlow went for his signature power bomb, and yeah, his right knee just basically went out. And he came out with a tweet. He says, "A normal man's knee would be ruined. I'm no normal man. I'm still coming for the heavyweight title. And there's nothing and no one that can stop me. Knee is just fine." So I want, obviously, Wardlow to be healthy and cleared and ready to go, because I do think Wardlow deserves it. I think Wardlow is one of the best projects in AEW. I think there's a lot of potential for Wardlow. I could also admit at the same time that Wardlow really lost his momentum after the MJF feud, and that's not Wardlow's fault. I think a lot of wrestling fans will say that it is his fault, but I think anybody who watches the product and saw the way he was booked and whatnot would not agree. Now, me personally, I have been pretty happy with the Undisputed Kingdom, but with Adam Cole being injured and Wardlow with a big question mark asterisk next to his name, I'm kind of curious as to what AEW's plan is for this group to truly gain momentum, because it does feel like it lost a little bit of momentum. I still like it. Personally speaking, I still like the group. I think the sky's the limit. And obviously, Tony Khan will get back to Adam Cole and MJF and Wardlow when the time is right. But at the same time, too, I would be very, 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 very stupid if I didn't acknowledge the fact that this group has lost some steam. And obviously, with what happened to Wardlow, if he isn't cleared, if he isn't wrestling, I think that hurts it a little bit further. I think the big criticism that everybody is saying about this group is that they've kind of lost their spark. Maybe some people are even saying they never had it to begin with. They don't feel like as special. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that injuries play a big role into it, and I know that Adam Cole being injured does not help. Does it mean it's done forever? No, I think at some point it could capture its momentum again, but that is something to point out. Hopefully Wardlow's cleared. Hopefully this group could get on track, and obviously that's the most important thing. And that brings us to Tony Khan and his major announcement set for next week on Dynamite. It's back, baby. Another major announcement from AEW. And no shocker here, guys. I'm not necessarily a fan of major announcements at this point. Even WWE lost me. Triple H on Peacock, major announcement. And then it's just the location for Money in the Bank, right? I'm tired of major announcements. I don't care about your major signings. I don't care about your major announcements. At the end of the day, you got to put forward the best product possible to keep me intrigued. And this is what Tony Khan is going to do. And look, Triple H has been doing it too. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid, because at the end of the day, they just don't seem like major announcements anymore. Now, realistically, Tony Khan is probably going to have Okada come out or Mercedes Moné, and that's great, fantastic, amazing. But just like many other major announcements, I've seen the IWC react and say, hey, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. This is a game changer. This is going to completely change everything for the company. And I think at the very same time, while it is very possible that could be the case, I think I have seen it play out too many times. I saw Adam Copeland come into AEW, and I was told that it was a game changer, and it definitely has not moved the needle. Now, in terms of creative, it moved the needle a lot for me. Edge and Christian has been an amazing thing to watch. Adam Copeland in AEW has been an amazing thing to watch because he's doing it full time, right? So for me, moving the needle is a little bit different. From a creative standpoint, Okada and Mercedes is going to change a lot for the company. Does it change a lot for the business? Well, it depends who you ask, because me personally, I think there has been a lot of people who have come into this company, Moxley, Danielson, right? Adam Cole, there's just a lot of great talent in the company. The company has no shortage of talent. I don't even think the booking is bad these days, which is funny because some of you might try to say that's what I'm saying, but it's not. I don't think booking is bad. I think the shows have been relatively fine. Some great matches. They got some cool stuff happening with CMLL. But it's not growing like I anticipated. Less than 2,000 tickets for Dynamite. It's on par with TNA Hard to Kill. So my point that I'm trying to make is I don't know what it's going to take to grow AEW at this point. Maybe people have wrestling fatigue. I don't know. But at the same time, too, I'm not at the stage where I'm done watching AEW. So until it gets to that point, I'm going to keep watching. But it is very shocking to me to see that despite all these big signings and these big announcements and these big things that they've done, people are starting to tune out and not buy in anymore, which is really weird considering Revolution is at 16,000 tickets sold. So there is a reason for why people aren't going to TV. I'm not sure what it is. It is really unfortunate, but hopefully this time, this major announcement has a direct impact on the growth of ticket sales and much more. Nonetheless, I'm excited for Tony Khan's major announcement, but, I got to wait and see.